All right, today's Friday, November 9, 2018. This is the meeting of the Kubernetes CSI implementation group. As a reminder, this meeting is public, recorded, and posted on YouTube. So this is the week before code freeze. We're trying to get a lot of things in, and so we want to get a status update and get a feel for where everything is. Before we do that, let's get a status update on the remaining 112 items. We have the snapshots end-to-end tests. Last status on this was done, waiting on Patrick's manifest PR plus updating containers to 0.41. Any new status updates here?
That should all be done.
Cool. Xing, are you still waiting on something for merge or?
No, right now I think it needs an update for some comments there. I think the latest comments. So my coworker addressed some. I think there was the latest comments he has not addressed yet about the RBAC rule. Okay, so I'll ping him.
Okay.
And also, I think looks like there were some conflicts. Looks maybe some new files got merged.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll ping him.
All right, looking good for that. And then cherry picking topology end-to-end tests. What's the state? Is Chang on the line by any chance? Yes.
Yeah. So the PR to refactor to combine entry and CSI tests have been merged, and I was hoping to basically rebase my topology test with that.
Okay.
It turned out to be a little more complicated than I thought. So I think for now I'm gonna. Originally, I was thinking of making the topology test generic to be able to work with any driver. But for now, I think in order to have a test to begin with, I'm just going to lock it to a GCPD driver and submit that first.
Okay, cool. So is there any tweaking needed, or is it ready to merge?
I'm going to send PR today.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Chang.
Yeah.
Next up, let's go to the GA blockers for CSI that we've been working on. Number one is moving the CSI volume attachment API objects. So this I am suddenly much more concerned about. Fabio, do you want to give a status update here?
Yeah, so I wasn't able to make progress on this one. Michelle yesterday implemented some of the fixes that Jordan proposed, and next week I'm gonna be on PTO. But Hammond or Matthew are going to pick this up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pick it up. So I have started looking into it. I saw that Michelle's changes is already brought up. I need to make sure that all the comments are addressed. Like I'm on it.
Okay, awesome. So it looks like there's a starter PR that Michelle sent out. You can pick that up. Then there's some end-to-end tests that need to be fixed, and there's a big outstanding question from Liggett, which I'll poke him about and say, is this a blocker? Because he's saying that you can't update any of the callers, and if we can't update any of the callers, can we call this thing GA? So we need to follow up with him on that.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So cool, thank you, Mont. We'll keep a close eye on that. Next up is the Cubelet device plugin. Sorry, did someone have a comment? Okay, then moving on, next one is Cubelet device plugin registration mechanism. Any updates on this?
Yeah, so yesterday there was a PR, I think it was from Michelle, regarding some tests that were failing due to what looked like an issue with with the Cubelet registration. I'm looking at the issue. It looked like I contacted Renault and someone else to look at it since they were more familiar with the code. And I'm not sure if this is still an issue because it looks like I'm reading the issue. It looks like the original error had gone away. So I gotta circle back and see if this is still an issue. And as far as the other PR with which does the actual updates of the API for GA, last time I checked, there was a thumbs up from Vish.
Okay.
To move forward, but there's a conflict. I need to basically rebase it to get that to go away. So we might have to circle back with them to get that LGTM again. But as of right now, we have a thumbs up from him.
Okay, and there was a issue that was going around about the recursive code was like walking through directories which were mounted volumes, and that was causing issues. Do you have a follow up on that?
Yeah, I looked at that yesterday. I haven't looked at it today to see what has been decided. So there were a couple of suggestions. One coming from you, and others that was on that. I think it's a PR now. As to how to handle that, I haven't seen any definitive adoption of what needs to be done. So I'll circle back again to see to make sure it's just basically a bug fix that needs to go in to get.
Yeah, I want to make sure somebody's working on that and don't want it to be right up against code freeze in case there's something else that comes out of it.
Yeah, I'll circle back today.
Yeah, if we could get Renault to address that would be great because he's most familiar with it.
Yeah, if not, then I'll look for somebody else or I can just jump in it myself.
Cool, sounds good.
Yep.
All right, thanks a lot, Vlad. Next up is the Cubelet plugin deregistration, and that's already been merged. Any other sanity checking or anything that we want to do, or?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Any other follow-up on the deregistration work here?
No, that's already been merged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Oops. CRD installation was merged. There was an issue. The issue was resolved. There was 2 more tests that were failing, but those tests look like they were added more recently by M. Kimura, and they've never passed since they were merged. So it looks unrelated to the CRD installation mechanism. My follow-up here is if we end up moving the other items to beta, we need to update this again to make sure that it's getting auto-installed for beta. And that issue has been resolved. And we need to open up issues against different deployers. Like
So local up, for example, is a deployer that now needs to be adapted, right?
Yes.
So I filed one issue back against that because I ran into that when adding these feature kits.
I'll take a look at that. Could you assign it to me?
Okay. I think it might already be.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'll take a look at it. To pick up new add-on. To deploy. All right. Next up is CSI external provisioner topology support. Is Deep or Chang or anyone on the line that can give an update on this?
I haven't taken a look at the PR yet, so I'm not too sure.
Okay. Hopefully Deep is back next week and give us an update on this. Cool, thank you. Next up is moving CSI driver and CSI node info objects. So this has been pending on David's migration change. Does anybody know what the status of David's change is? Oh, it looks like it's been approved and merged.
It was merged like a few hours ago.
Okay, so that's good.
I think Matthew is gonna pick this up.
Okay, perfect. Matt, do you know what the context here is and what needs to be done?
Yeah, I've rebased. It's just a bunch of small test failures and stuff like that now.
Okay, perfect. There's also an outstanding request to have end-to-end test for this. I think this should be covered. I'm not sure. Do you know what the state of this is, Fabio?
No, I don't have end-to-end tests so far.
Okay. We need to double check on that. And I think that should be it. The CRD installation is already in place. And I don't think there's any downgrade issues that we're aware of. That's already in place. So yeah, it should be, looks good. I think the biggest issue here will be once we set it to beta, the core code is going to expect that the CRD exists. The CRD currently only gets auto-installed for GCE alpha clusters. So we need to go in and modify the different deployment mechanisms to say, oh, this feature is beta and it needs to install this add-on as part of Cube installation. But we should make sure that if this feature flag is enabled, but the CRD is not installed, that it doesn't blow up and blow up everything, because we don't want this to merge and basically break every cluster in existence. Okay, moving on. CSI 1.0, there is, I believe, let's take a quick look. Milestone 1.0, label P0. Two outstanding P0 issues. Both of them have PRs that are out. So we're looking pretty good for that. And I think that's it. The plan is to cut an RC on Monday. We're looking pretty good there. Amant, your PR got unblocked. I think James gave a thumbs up to it, and it just needs to be rebased. And I think there's some minor comments that need to be addressed.
Oh, okay.
Next up is moving CSI RBAC role definitions from Kubernetes. Anything left here?
No, the last one, the doc PR got merged.
Awesome.
With one external snapshot pull request that has a pending question about the RBAC rules for the external snapshot.
Okay.
We did review that when merging with pull request 53, but it looks like I certainly didn't know what the right rules would be, and we might have added something as the authoritative RBAC YAML file here that isn't quite correct yet, or not as tight as it could be.
Got it.
But
hey,
that's
Patrick, are you talking about the those rules about PV and PVC in the external snapshotter?
Yes.
Yeah. I just replied. Actually, yeah, we don't need those. We only need the like a list, watch, and get. Yeah, it was actually in the original the older example file has that, but under external snapshot, because they are all together, right? The provisioner and the snapshot are together. So
the old file was basically mashing provisioner and snapshotter in one file.
I'm talking about the older example under Kubernetes CSI docs example file. So because under that example, every RBAC rule file is separated, right? For each controller, for each
Okay, then that was for good copy, and we didn't just didn't copy the right one. Anyway, can I leave that to you to clean that up, because
I have that's on the ETE test. That's the PR, right? That's the one that you and Michelle has left some comments. That's the
because
one.
Michelle basically noticed in the end-to-end test that this isn't quite right.
Right. So I have So I have just added comments there, saying that we only need those 3, right?
Yeah. Well, we also need to fix it in the external snapshotter repo.
Oh, okay, sure. Because, so I think last time you separated, because initially they are all together, that's why. But then you separated out the provisioner, but the snapshotter one is still the old one. That's what you're saying, right? Okay, yeah, we'll fix it.
Cool, thank you, Xing. And just to be clear, I want to make sure I understand this issue. The external snapshotter does not need any permissions for PVPVC, right? Not even...
It needs get, list, and watch. It does not need create, delete, and update.
Okay, why does it need get, list, and watch?
That was because initially we deploy the external provisioner and the external snapshot together. So we have this YAML file together basically initially. And Patrick did a nice job. He separated the RBAC rules into
Makes
2.
Sense.
Yeah.
But now that they're separated, do you still need PVC, list, watch, and get?
We still need to get, list, and watch. Yes, because
Why?
because we when we take snapshot, we create that from the PV and PVC. We still need to watch those. Yeah.
But that would be an external provisioner that needs this.
No, when we provision snapshot, when we provision snapshot, we need to provision that from the PV.
I see.
We still need those. There is still a relationship.
Provisioning logic inside the external snapshotter.
Yes.
Okay. I thought the snapshotting provisioner logic was in the external provisioner repo. Okay.
No, create volume from snapshotter will be in the provisioner repo, but create snapshot from volume will be in the snapshotter repo.
Create snapshot from volume.
Right, because when you create a snapshot, the volume is the source, so we still need to.
Okay, you still need to read it. Okay, that makes sense. Got it.
It goes back both ways, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, that makes sense. Thank you. So that should be fairly straightforward to clean up. Feel free to ping me when you have an update and I can help approve that, or Patrick.
Patrick, have you opened an issue so we don't forget about this?
No, I didn't, because it was basically just this open. It was this open question.
I will just open issue here. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Xing. Thank you, Patrick. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and mark this as yellow. It's very close to being complete. It's looking good. Flaky host path CSI end-to-end test. Is this something we're still tracking? Apparently Hamath has been volunteered to help with this. Hamath, are you aware of this?
Well, I looked into this, and I think I understand why it goes wrong. I have a pull request pending with a solution that might be correct, but I'm very unsure about the whole thing because I've never been able to reproduce it locally.
Got it.
And I'm not perfectly familiar with the code. I basically just started reading it when working on this bug. So we might have a solution, but we are not sure.
I have looked at your PR, but I'm not sure actually. And I mean, I know what the problem is, but I think fixing it will require ding. I'm not sure if it is it should be blocker, but we need to consider it kind of carefully before making anything. So I haven't found time to.
Yeah, that's okay. I think we can wait for bug fixes after code freeze, so we can keep tracking that.
Yeah, but I will fix it. Cool,
sounds good.
There is another bug open linked to in this one about concurrent operations that get triggered by the reconciler.
Yeah.
Saad, you created that. It looked similar initially, but it's probably still something else.
Okay.
That other one was a problem where just saying you just scroll too far. I think go up a bit. Yeah, the 70319. I ended up looking at the same code at the same time, and I think it's a problem with the reconciler looking at the current state of the world, kicking off some operation, and then before that operation completes and changes the state of the world, something else happens and some other operation is started, or something changes that conflicts with the ongoing operation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looking at the code, my question basically is, do we actually want more than one operation per volume in any situation at all? Because preventing that shouldn't be too hard.
So no, we do not, and that's what the code already does. So there's a piece of code called the operation executor, and the sole purpose of the operation executor is to prevent multiple operations from starting in parallel for the same volume.
Yeah.
It does that. Okay.
So the problem in this bug is that basically what happens is you have two caches, the desired state and the actual state, which are just a list of volumes that you want to attach and the list of volumes that you think are attached. And then the reconciler is a very dumb loop. It just diffs the two. If there's a difference between them, it will trigger an attach or detach operation. When it triggers an attach or detach operation, it uses the operation executor. The operation executor is smart and only allows one operation to start per volume. Now, the problem in this bug is that in some cases, the reconciler says, oh, I see a diff, I need to attach a volume. The volume exists in the desired, it doesn't exist in the actual, so I'm going to start an attach operation. And it starts an attach operation, or sorry, a mount operation. The mount operation starts, and the mount operation takes a long time because it's formatting and there's a lot of activity on the machine, so it's taking a long time, multiple minutes. In the meantime, the user deletes the volume, or the pod that's referencing that volume, so it gets removed from the desired state. And now you have this pending operation that is neither in desired state, neither in actual state. And so Cubelet has something that says, let me go and update which volumes are currently in use. And what it does is it looks at both desired and actual state, and it says, let me see if any of the volumes that are there, I'm going to say those volumes are in use. It doesn't look at those pending operations. And so it misses this volume that is currently pending, but neither in actual nor in desired. So it says, oh, this volume is not in use. It basically clears it from the list. And then the attach detach controller, when it goes to detach that volume, says, Cubelet, are you using it? It doesn't see it in the Cubelet list, so it goes ahead and detaches it before that operation completes. So it's a bad state. It's a fairly easy bug to fix. We just need to modify the code that's pointed here. In addition to looking at both the desired and actual, we need to make it look at the list of pending operations.
So the reason I was just kind of like waiting on it was, we used to have a check where when we used to start our operation, we used to mark the volume as volume in use before itself.
That's true. That is true. But the problem is that even if that exists, that assumes that the desired state doesn't get cleared, right? You can mark the volume as in use in the desired state, but if the entire desired state volume gets cleared, then
no. But in that case, like if you mark the volume and when the user the detach will not happen until this like the node state is updated and volume in use is removed off. So that will only happen after like after like when the kubelet manually Cubelet updates that node object actually. So
Cubelet updates that node object by querying the volume manager.
Yeah.
And the volume manager basically looks at desired and actual state, and it constructs that list to return to Cubelet. And the problem is that it used to exist in desired state, and then the populator removed it because the volume was deleted. So we don't wait for the pending operation to complete before it gets removed from desired.
But when the nodes in use gets updated from actual state of the world, and so whenever this operation,
but in this case, it never made it to actual, right? The operation was pending.
It would finish eventually, and that go routine will eventually add it to the actual state of the world. That's what.
So here's the problem. Eventually, yes, but the problem is that these mount operations are taking so long that because there's an issue on the host that's causing the entire machine to kind of hang,
Yeah.
and so that operation never completes.
Right. And that's why we used to put this volume menu check before even the operation starts, so that in case the volume like node is in bad shape or something happen, we don't detach the volumes and from which we cannot verify what happened. So, but yeah, that check we removed, and this, I don't know if it is related to that, and that's why I want to take a little bit time to.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. We can discuss it more offline if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Hang on. Let me check something real quick. Okay, let me get back. Okay, next up is splitting up the driver registrar. Is Luis on the line by any chance?
No, he couldn't join us.
Okay. We'll have to follow up with him offline to get a status update on that. Improving documentation we can do after code freeze, and I'm not going to go over the non-blocking issues. Actually, CSI block has graciously been picked up by Ben, and Ben is on the line. Ben, do you want to give an update on this?
Yeah, well, I did the 3 things we talked about yesterday. I put in a placeholder PR for the docs. I tested the one remaining PR. The number is
probably one of these.
No, where I'll find it in just a sec. Uh, 68635. So that one, that's a PR for Kubernetes itself. Once that merges, I think we're good on the Kubernetes side. And then there's that other PR for the CSI attacher or CSI provisioner repo that I also tested last week. And I don't think that's subject to the same deadline, but assuming that gets in, I think that's all we need. And I've tested the heck out of this. I haven't found any problems.
Awesome.
I'm continuing to test it, and anything else that needs doing, I'm happy to do.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Saad, we need a secondary approver. So I've already approved it for the code that's in Kubernetes.
Would that be this PR here?
Possibly, I think so. It's the one from, yes, that's it.
Okay. I'll take a look at that, and I'll go ahead and approve it. Oh, this is the, okay. New Cubelet plugin launcher. Oh, this is just an issue.
Oh, no, that's not it, actually. It's the one from.
I guess we must have linked the wrong one here.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay,
I think that one's the 68635.
Okay.
That
Let's do some hacking over here and convert that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I will take a look at this and go ahead and approve it. I'm trusting both of you. So if you guys are good with it, I'm good with it. And I'll go ahead and approve it. Oops.
Awesome.
And I'll go ahead and mark that as yellow. That looks good. CSI migration is actually red. I spoke with David And David said that it looks like based on the work that's remaining, they're not going to be able to land it in this quarter, and that's okay. We're going to try to get in as much prep work as possible and then take it to alpha next quarter. Implementing CSI pod inline volume support. I don't believe there's any updates there. And snapshots, we can follow up after code freeze. Okay.
Oh, I do have one question about
Sure.
that CSS spec change for snapshot status.
Yes.
Are we waiting for someone to approve it?
I think I LGTM'd it with some small, or I think I had some minor comments.
I think I addressed it. I think you approved it, but it's not merged. I'm just wondering.
I will poke James, and if we can get one more person to approve it, then we'll be good to go.
Okay, because you said it needs to be merged by the end of day today, right?
Yes. So I have meetings with James and G today, later today, 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay, great. Because next week I will be in KubeCon Shanghai, so I won't.
No problem.
It'll be hard to
Yeah, we're gonna try to get all the CSI PRs merged by end of day today. So.
Okay, great.
I'll try to have them look at it early, so if they have any feedback, they can get to you sooner.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right. Thanks a lot for putting that together.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, folks. Thank you very much. We will reconvene next week. Again, this is a very, very tight deadline, so if any one of these things slips, we have to slip the entire GA of CSI. So let's stay on top of things, and if there's anything that seems like it may not land, please broadcast it loudly and widely early, so that we know if there's anything I need to do to help unblock that. Let me know.
Saad, just quickly,
yes.
If I rebased the resizing PR, if like James has anything concern,
Perfect. I'll do the same. I'll have James take a look at both of these.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll reconvene on Monday. Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.